Okay, so picture this. You're trying to brainstorm, you're up to your eyeballs in research, notes everywhere, and then bam! Your AI steps in, organizes everything, gives you a new idea or two, maybe even makes you a coffee while it's at it.
Well, about that
Yeah.
coffee, where we might have to wait a bit.
Yeah, okay, no robot baristas just yet. But seriously, AI-powered notebooks are getting really good. What we're looking at today is getting close to that ultimate sidekick level of help.
It's true. We're seeing some really exciting stuff happening in this space. I mean, it's pushing the boundaries of how we work, how we learn.
Yeah.
Easy to get caught up in all the hype, for sure. But even at this early stage, the potential is huge.
Totally agree. And that's exactly why we're doing a deep dive into Google's Notebook LM today. This isn't just another note-taking app. This thing is next level.
Right.
It's still kind of under wraps. You know, it's in Google Labs, which is where they test out all the experimental stuff. But just the fact that they're letting people try it out tells you something. This isn't staying hidden away in the lab for long.
What's really fascinating to me about Notebook LM is that it's not just about organizing stuff you already know.
Yeah.
It's taking all that information and actually generating new insights from it. That's the game changer.
That's where it goes from a helpful tool to, whoa, this is changing how I work. And it's not just for one type of person either, right? Students, researchers, entrepreneurs, anybody could benefit from this.
Absolutely. Anyone who works with information, really. And that brings me to another thing I like about Notebook LM. It's designed with the user in mind.
Yes. You know how sometimes you open a new app or software and it's like, am I going to need to go back to school just to figure this out?
Yeah, exactly. So Notebook LM, totally the opposite. It's clean, it's intuitive, you jump in, and you can focus on your ideas, not on wrestling with the tool itself. And then there's the whole AI magic part. Imagine having your notes analyzed for connections you might have missed or getting help with your writing so your ideas really shine through. And we're not just talking about grammar here. This is about making your writing clearer, more concise, more powerful.
That intuitive design is crucial. Because let's face it, when you're trying to enhance your thinking process, the last thing you need is a tool that adds more complexity to your life.
Right.
And the fact that they've put so much emphasis on customization and integrations is really smart. Notebook LM isn't trying to be some separate little island where you just dump your notes. It's designed to seamlessly integrate into your existing workflow.
That's a really good point. Whether you're a die-hard Google Docs user or you live and breathe project management apps, Notebook LM is designed to work with what you've got.
They make some pretty bold claims about the benefits of this, too. You know, things like, use Notebook LM and you'll have enhanced focus, deeper understanding, the usual buzzwords. But what I do appreciate is that they actually back those claims up with real-world examples, which is helpful. Like, remember that feeling when you finally conquered a mountain of research, you finally understand it, you can see the connections? That's what they're promising here.
And it's important to remember, you don't need to be a tech genius to benefit from this. They've got examples for everyone, from students to artists to business owners, showing how this kind of tool can make a real difference in a bunch of different fields.
For example, they talk about a researcher using Notebook LM to analyze, like, a giant stack of research papers, and Notebook LM helps pull out the key takeaways in way less time than it would normally take. Or a writer using it to, break through writer's block and start exploring new plot ideas. I mean, if it can help with writer's block, that's impressive.
It really is. But it's crucial to keep in mind that the tool itself is just that, a tool. The real magic happens in how you use it, how you engage with the information, how you use it to support your own thinking. It's all about staying curious and engaged with what's possible.
I like that. So let's say, hypothetically, we do have Notebook LM in our hot little hands. How would we use it? The source gets into some pretty specific examples, which I think will be super helpful for wrapping our heads around this. So let's start with students. Who here hasn't been there, right? Textbooks, lecture notes, online resources, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's information overload for sure.
Total information overload.
Imagine this. You're a student, and instead of having notes scattered everywhere, you can bring it all together.
One Notebook LM to rule them all.
Exactly. But it's not just about having one digital binder, right? Let's say you're struggling with a particularly tough concept.
Which, let's be honest, happens to the best of us.
Of course, it happens to everyone. But here's where Notebook LM gets really interesting. You can actually ask it to explain that concept to you.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, and maybe even in simpler terms if you needed to.
Okay, That is seriously cool.
That's like having a personal tutor built right in.
It's like having a tutor who's available 24/7 and never judges your dumb questions.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on group projects. Remember those late-night email chains trying to decipher your classmates' handwriting?
Don't even remind me. Is that a 7 or a...
Right. With notebooklm, you can collaborate with your group in real time.
So no more emailing files back and forth or trying to decipher messy handwritten notes.
It's about making that collaboration more efficient and more effective.
Okay, but we've been talking about students a lot. notebooklm isn't just for them, right? What about for all the creative folks out there? Let's say you're a writer working on your next big novel. How could notebooklm fit into that process?
Oh, it could be huge for brainstorming. You can jot down plot ideas, character sketches, really anything that comes to mind.
Just get it all out there.
Exactly. And then ask notebooklm to help you organize those thoughts, identify potential themes, or even suggest alternative storylines.
Okay, that's seriously cool. It's like having a brainstorming partner who's always full of ideas.
Then imagine this. You're working with a client on a big project, right? Instead of having feedback scattered across emails, messages, voice memos.
Oh my gosh, the worst. Trying to piece it all together.
Right. notebooklm lets you keep it all in one place, organized and connected to the relevant project files.
So it becomes this centralized hub for all your creative work, from that initial spark of an idea to the final polished product.
Exactly.
And here's what really gets me excited. The source hints at some seriously futuristic features they're working on.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Okay, get this. Advanced AI integrations and even multimodal support.
Multimodal support. So you're talking about being able to...
Imagine being able to drop images or audio files right into your notebook and have notebooklm analyze them. Talk about a game changer.
They even mentioned voice commands, which, I mean, makes sense with how technology is going.
Oh, totally. Imagine dictating notes directly into notebooklm or asking it to pull up information just by speaking.
Hands-free note-taking. Sign me up.
It really does feel like we're on the cusp of something big, like a whole new way of thinking about information.
Absolutely. And honestly, what we've talked about today, these features, the potential uses, it's just the tip of the iceberg. As AI keeps getting more sophisticated, tools like notebooklm are only going to become more powerful, even more mind-blowing.
It's almost a little overwhelming when you think about it, right? Like, where does it all lead?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's something we're all going to have to grapple with as these technologies become more integrated into our lives. But I'm optimistic. I really do think tools like notebooklm have the potential to empower us, to help us unlock our creativity, our productivity. Just imagine what we could accomplish.
I like that. That's a good way to look at it. It's not about AI replacing us. It's about AI augmenting us, helping us be better, do more.
Exactly. And that's incredibly exciting.
Like having a super-powered sidekick for your brain.
Huh. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to stay curious, be willing to experiment with these new tools, figure out how they can best support our own individual goals and workflows.
Totally. And one thing we haven't talked about too much yet is the customization aspect of notebooklm, which is a big deal, right?
Oh, absolutely. The source really emphasizes that this isn't a one-size-fits-all tool. It's about giving you the building blocks to create a system that works for your unique brain, for how you think and solve problems.
So some people, they might be really visual thinkers, so they might use a ton of those multimodal features we were talking about, embedding images and diagrams everywhere.
Right. Whereas someone who's more language-oriented, maybe they use notebooklm to brainstorm outlines, summarize key points from their research.
Or even experiment with different writing styles.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting, because the source hints that you'll even be able to adjust how the AI itself works within notebooklm.
Really?
Yeah. So you're working on a creative project. You could tell notebooklm, hey, be more playful, more experimental with your suggestions. But if you're writing a research paper, you might say, okay, I need you to be more precise, more analytical here. It's about having that fine-grained control.
It's like having an AI writing partner that you can adjust to fit the specific project or task. No more forcing a square peg into a round hole,
Precisely. And I think that adaptability is going to be key as AI tools become more prevalent. We've all got different styles, different ways of thinking and working, and the best tools will be the ones that can accommodate that diversity, not try to squash it.
Totally agree. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here, from AI insights and multimodal learning to all this customization and, that holy grail of enhanced focus, it seems pretty clear that notebooklm has the potential to be a game changer. But like with any powerful tool, we also have to talk about responsibility.
Absolutely. And that means asking some tough questions about things like bias and algorithms, data privacy, the potential impact on jobs, and the economy as a whole. We can't shy away from those conversations.
It's a lot to think about, but it's essential because this is about the future and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Couldn't agree more.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into notebooklm and the future of AI-powered tools, it does feel like we're left with more questions than answers. But maybe that's okay. Maybe the most important thing we've uncovered today isn't about any one feature or benefit, but about the possibilities that open up when we start to really rethink how we learn, how we create, how we understand information.
Well said. It's a journey, that's for sure. And each of us is going to navigate it in our own way.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe some of you listening will be the ones who build those tools, who grapple with those ethical questions, who write the next chapter of this story. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into notebooklm. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big, important questions.